Okay. Okay. Right here. It's really not reason to come down.
Turn around, guys. Down the way, back out of the way. Come on now. Just watch the lights.
Oh no, I'm just the colors are gonna line up right there because you can't get up on the stage. We're not quite stage isn't quite high enough. Yeah, and you'll be fine right there. They're just gonna be in between because they come right down this middle row and you try to miss the theater lights.
So I'm okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Orders. Colors.
All right, very good. All right, then you just march right off that way. All right. All right. So circle back around and get back over there in position.
Right. Right. Forward. Arc. Right.
Yeah, a little bit of rehearsal in the
Disrespect the you like my name up? You like my name up?
Look pretty. Hey, you're there.
I asked him, he's like, now
Okay.
Wasn't it the lady right there?
I have 3 kids working.
Hey, Longhorns, horns up. Hey, real quick, guys, I want to tell you a couple things as we get started. Let's go ahead and put our iPads away, put our cell phones away. We'll have video of this. If you guys want to video it, Ms. Delgado is going to do that for us. So we'll have video that we can share with you guys later on through your Google Classroom, so you guys are going to be good. Most importantly, I want you guys to make sure you're hearing the message, okay? So I just want to say thank you guys for all being here. I want to extend a special welcome to our veterans and our speaker today. We're excited to be able to open the doors of Young Men's Leadership Academy to honor you guys and honor the great things that you guys have done for us over these many years that I'm sure that we all covered through our service and our work throughout the years. We're very excited to be able to have this program today, and we're just excited to welcome you guys to what we feel like is the best middle school campus in Grand Prairie ISD. And why is that, Longhorns? Because Longhorns, outstanding. At this time, if I can get you guys to stand up for the posting of the colors.
Right, left, mark time, mark. Oh, left, right. Reason, arm.
Now we will do the pledge. Honor the. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Remain standing for the national anthem. We'll be over there for the national anthem.
Thank you. You guys can be seated. Hey, we want to thank the South Grand Prairie ROTC for sitting their young men over here to present the colors for us. Guys, we're very excited to have this assembly today. We've had a very busy day. It's been a very busy couple of days. We had a very tight schedule today. Our 8th graders went and we're off campus for a little while. We've been on a short schedule, but we felt like it was very important to have this day. It's a very big honor for me personally. I know it's an honor for many people that are, many of you guys out there, many teachers, to be able to honor our veterans. Especially in a time that we're facing these days, we want to make sure that as we continue to build young leaders and young men on this campus, that we put them in front of great leaders that aren't just leaders in their own communities, but they're leaders at home and they're leaders nationwide, and they protect our freedoms to be able to do what we need to do. And so you guys can be sitting here having the education, have the experiences that you're having. Just real quick, if it wasn't for the military, I wouldn't be standing right here as your principal today. I was in the military for 4 years. It got my life on track. It helped me get through college so that I could be here and so that I could help be a principal. And really it's guiding what we do every day in the structure of our campus. So it's thanks to the military and the time that I spent in there that allowed me, specifically the U.S. Navy, that allowed me to be able to be here and lead this campus of great young men. So with that being said, I'm just excited that we're here. I'm excited that we have the opportunity to show our support for our community, for our veterans, and for our country. So with that being said, I'm going to turn over to Ms. Bailey, Ms. Kelleher, excuse me, and she's going to go ahead and do our My Country 'Tis Thee. No, is that incorrect? Sorry. Well, then I will move on to Ms. Johnson.
I'm sorry, I'm not Ms. Johnson. I was pretty as Ms. Johnson. But as student body and staff, I'd like you to join me as we welcome our honored guests here. Guests, as I call your name, please stand if able, so that we may be able to honor you. Thank you. Okay, first we have Mr. Bill Rock, United States Air Force. Next, we have Ms. Andrea DeSecchi, United States Army. Next, we have Mr. George Gregg, United States Air Force. Right next to him, Mr. Richard Aguinaga, United States Navy. Next to him, we have Mr. Brian Brown, United States Marine Corps. Next, second row, we have Mr. Camilo Avila, United States Army. Sorry, that's my dad. I gotta rep on my dad. That's my dad right there. Next to him, Miss Tanya Cash, United States Army, PSC. Next to him, we have UPS's very own Colin Ransom, United States Army. Next to him, we have United States retired Navy Chief Petty Officer, Tony Hall. Next to Mr. Hall, we have Mr. Charles Prevade. And last but not least, we have Young Men Leadership Academy's very own Nathan Fairchild, United States Navy. Students, please stand up and give our guests a round of applause as we thank them for their service.
a band selection from Miss Bailey Keller. Hello. I would like to introduce our guest speaker to everyone today. We have Chaplain Byron Singleton. He is a native of Houston, Texas. He trained as a chaplain at the Seattle, Washington VA prior to becoming a board-certified chaplain in 2005 with the National Association of VA Chaplains. He is currently serving as acting chief of chaplains at the VA in Alexandria, Louisiana. Chaplain Singleton earned his Master's of Divinity degree from Phillips Theological Seminary in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He is a father of 4 teenagers. He loves to travel and a fan of the newly crowned world champion Houston Astros baseball team. Anyone fans? He's also an avid fan of the Dallas Cowboys. YMLA. Let's give a round of applause as we welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Byron
It's a privilege to be here today. And I did fight through the torrential rain yesterday to get here, but I was determined to come and to share from my heart as we celebrate Veterans Day. On behalf of the Alexandria VA Healthcare System in Alexandria, Louisiana, where the Medical Center Director is Mr. Peter Dancy, we would like to send greetings to you from Louisiana and to extend to each and every veteran a very happy Veterans Day. I thought my mouth was big enough. After accepting the invitation to speak at this Veterans Day program, I went on your website to look at some things about your school, and I was captivated by the YMLA Creed. And as I read your creed, I realized that much of my own
life's lessons, experiences, and values are aligned with this creed. I am a John F. Kennedy young man, a man of lifelong learning, purpose, vision, and action. I am a man of honor, dignity, integrity, and care. I am my purpose keeper. I am the gift of every need. I In other words, I am somebody. This creed is not just mere words on a page. It is each of us our call to action. Each one of you, man and boy, adult, are being challenged to live up to your God-given capabilities and your gifts that were put in you before you were born in this world. And I want to ask you a question. Have you ever thought about the difference that one person can make in somebody else's life? Our presence in this world is oftentimes a lifeline. A lifeline to someone who is in the midst of a struggle or a dire situation. And sometimes we forget about the power of our presence until we get on the receiving end and we are in need. And our life gets altered by somebody else. Today, the theme for this program is brotherhood. But today I want to focus on I am my brother's keeper. As I developed and evolved into an adult, there was a truth that I would like to share with you that has guided my adult life. It says that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Everything that I do is marvelous, and of this, oh God, I have no doubt. Now, I was born in the 60s, in the midst of the civil rights movement, when our country was in the process of massive changes for social justice. The status quo didn't like the challenges that those minority voices were bringing into the light. And there was a lot of resistance when the federal government got behind those voices, and the states and the local laws were having to comply. And I want to share with you that I remember as a young child, there was a saying that we used to say around our neighborhood: sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And I want you to know that is a lie. Words have power. I can remember as a child being told, and several of my other friends and family, to stay in your place. You will never be more than a maid or a butler. You'll never be more than a mechanic or a cook. You'll never be more than a train porter. You'll never be anything. You'll never amount to anything. You're too dumb. You're too stupid. You're going to end up in jail just like your daddy. You'll be a drunk and a drug addict just like, and they would name somebody. Those words were words of death, and they have power. And sadly, I watched a lot of my own peers fall for the lies. And they lost all of their life's goals and capabilities, and their big dreams got thwarted and destroyed. But by the grace of God, I was not in that number. There were some people in my life, in my family, from my neighborhood, and in my school system that canceled out every negative message that I received as a youth growing up. They helped me to realize that I am much more than the labels and the definitions that other people try to put on me. I found out through my teachers that it takes a village to raise a child. And they showed me and taught me, and they believed with all of their heart that they too were their brother's keeper. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had a conversation with my best friend about the powerful presence of my school teachers that shaped my life and developed me into the person that I now am. And I began to just read a litany of names of people who touched me, impacted me. And you know, when I think about your fingerprints, look at them. Every finger is different. No two are alike. And they say that you're unique. They say that I was here. And the thing is there are some people in your life who will make an influence, but there will be some people who will make an impact, like the Grand Canyon. And the thing is that my kindergarten teacher, Miss Caroline, my first grade teacher, Miss Bryant, my second grade teacher, Miss Adams, my third grade teacher, Mrs. Pryor, my fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Harper, my fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Newton, and then my sixth grade math teacher, Mrs. Swallow, and my seventh grade Texas history teacher, Mr. Veldkamp, and my math teacher in the 8th grade, Mr. Bird, and my English teacher in the 9th grade, Miss Kelso, and my French teacher in the 10th grade, Miss Hill, and my geography and government teacher from the 11th grade, Mr. Munns, and my 12th grade phys ed and tennis coach, Mrs. Marty, deeply impacted me. But it didn't stop there. When I got to college, Mrs. Iaquinta, who taught psychology, sociology, and Christian ed, and Mr. Hudson, who taught me theology and Old Testament, impacted me. That forever changed not just my life, but how I do ministry as a chaplain. And then when I got to seminary, Mr. Smith, who taught Old Testament, and Mr. McLean, who taught theology, really showed me the heart of God. Because something horrible happened to me when I was in seminary. I was newly married, and I lost our firstborn child, died in utero. I was devastated. I didn't know how to keep pressing forward because I was a senior at that time. And one of my professors was so pastoral, he says, Byron, do what you need to do to take care of you and your wife. And I missed almost an entire semester. And I worked from home and turned my work in, and I graduated cum laude in spite of that tragedy. And the thing that helped me as I continued to nurture and grow was that there were so many people along the way that said, you're somebody. I expect great things from you. I will not let you do anything less than excellent. And I remember when Miss Kelso, who was my English teacher, told me, because I loved English, and she says, I expect to see you in the paper, not for something bad, but because of the way that you write. She did not see the color of my skin because she was a Caucasian teacher. She saw my mind, my heart, and my spirit. And then when I got into college, I went to college in the 80s. And there was still social change going on. And Mrs. Iaquinta told me something that really impacted me. She said, we live in a very complex world. But in spite of its complexities, we have to be able to have unity amid our diversity. And then there will be times when we have to learn how to agree to disagree when we don't see eye to eye. Because the thing that you need to understand, Byron, is that what God has prepared for your life, no one will be able to stop it. Those educators showed me by example, as much as by words, that they were my brother's keeper. They touched me profoundly. They put in me a value and an ethic and a belief that I am my brother's keeper, because we, in the day of cell phones, it's all about us. But see, we have to remember that we were not born in this world to be alone. We were born to be a part of something. It's not just about me, but it's about the person to the left of you, to the right of you, in front of you, behind you. It's all about us together. Therefore, I am my brother's keeper. The positivity that I received from each of them had a powerful impact on me. And as I grew from year to year, I want you to know, I remember elementary, and I remember middle school. Because I got teased, I got bullied, I got tore up from the floor up. People wanted to make me feel bad. And I even got called the N-word on the day that Martin Luther King got shot. And I got called the N-word when I was in middle school, trying to get me to think that I was less than what I was. But I was determined. And see, the thing is that we need to understand this. You are more than what anybody will ever say about you. I don't care how much you get bullied. I don't care how much people talk about you. I don't care how much the world may try to come against you and make you think that you're not that. You are somebody. You have value and you have worth. And it is our Creator who made you and me, and He does not make mistakes. All of us are fearfully and wonderfully made. We're made in the imago Dei, and that is a fancy word in the Greek for the image of God. Have you ever thought about what is your divine purpose as a human being, and how can you reach for your stars? We live in a world where there's lots of competition. Everybody's competing for something, trying to keep up with the Joneses and the neighbors, and trying to get and accrue as much as we can. We even like to compare ourselves one to another. But even in the midst of all that, we must never forget, I am my brother's keeper. And today I want to share two truths with you that I learned in my education process. And both of them happened when I was in college. The first is the lesson of the IALAC. IALAC. That is an acronym, and it stands for I am loving and capable. And one of the things that we had in that class was we had to put a sign around our neck with IALAC on it. We couldn't tell anybody why we had it on, but we had to go around that whole day. And this was the object of the lesson. Every time somebody insulted us, mocked us, talked about us, made us feel bad, we were to rip a piece of the sign from off of us. And when we got back to that class, then we were going to discuss the size of our sign, but more importantly, how we were impacted emotionally and mentally and spiritually by what people said to us. It was a powerful lesson for me in the power of my words. And it made me mindful, and it made me intentional to make sure that I took my life and I used it for the purpose of construction and not for the purpose of destruction. Because part of our divine purpose is to build people up and not tear people down. And the other is the story of the apple tree. Bear with me. One day, an apple tree was rooted in the ground and it grown to full life. And it was a beautiful starry night. The apple tree looked up into the heaven and saw the constellation. There were millions of shimmering stars in the sky. And the apple tree tried to reach its branches up, to reach into the heavens, to touch the stars. But the branches were too short. And that apple tree got so frustrated that it stretched its branches and stretched its branches, and it began to cry out, God, I want to touch the stars. God, I want to be like the stars. The apple tree began to wail. I want to be like the stars. Why, God? Why can't I be like the stars? And God answered the apple tree. Apple tree, apple tree. Don't you realize your value? Don't you realize your worth? Because you give shade to people. You provide food to people. Don't you realize how important you are? Apple tree cried out, I know I provide food and I know I provide shade, but I want to be like the stars. I want to be special like them. And then God plucked that apple from off of the apple tree and told that apple tree, you have been trying to reach for the stars for so long, but little did you know that I put the stars in you.
Stars in the apple. Stars in the
God put stars in all of us, fearfully and wonderfully made. And we need to understand that as we are here today to celebrate veterans, that we need to be reminded again that I am my brother's keeper, and they accepted the call to serve this great nation because they knew that somebody needed to be our brother's keeper. And the thing is all of us have difficulties in life. At some point, people come against us. But we have to remember that they moved through all of the negativity of this country. And as a VA chaplain, I want you to know that I consider it an honor and a privilege to provide the care that they need when they come up to the VA. And oftentimes I find myself going to the community hospitals to see other people, and I find veterans because of the call that's on my life. And the thing is that we need to always remember in this together. Every soldier that walks through those doors had their stars dimmed from the traumas of war and whatever else that they dealt with when they served this country. And unfortunately, some of them had their stars extinguished because they gave up their life for this great country. And we need to always remember that as we move forward from this day, I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. We all are one another's keeper. So don't let any negativity, don't let any negative words destroy your dreams for what God has put on the inside of you. The same way that Apple had hidden stars in it, there are stars waiting to be illuminated through you. So I want to challenge you to not just look at the stars, but always know that you are a star. You are somebody. I want God to bless each and every young man in this leadership academy. I pray that God will bless Grand Prairie Independent School District. I pray that God will bless these veterans that are on this stage and all veterans that have served this great country. And I pray that God will bless these great United States of America. Happy Veterans Day as we celebrate their service. Now we invite Zachary Maxwell, our 8th grade student, for a reading. Veterans, the people who put their lives on the line for our freedom, not knowing if they would be back. They dedicated their lives to ensure our freedom. As people, we tend to only care for ourselves. Everything we do is for the benefit of us. Veterans, on the other hand, carry the whole nation on their shoulders, no matter religion, gender, or race. Anything that threatened our freedom, they fought against it. We are free because they fought. We still live because there are people who cared enough about us to protect us. We don't know them all, but we owe them all. Veterans, on behalf of YMLA, I'd like to thank you for your time and your service. Student body, please join me in a moment of silence as we honor those who have fallen and serving our country.
Everyone, please stand.
Thank you, may be seated. Let's have a closing prayer. Creator, God, we just give you thanks for this opportunity to celebrate of these veterans, to celebrate, God, the brotherhood and the sisterhood that you call us all to be a part of. Watch over us, be with us as we continue to grow and to become that which you call us to be. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just really quickly, we would just like to just give a token of appreciation to our speaker who did such a wonderful job. And so on behalf of YMLA, we present this trophy to Chaplain Byron Jr. We'd just like to say a special thank you to the veterans for coming. We honor you, we salute you, we thank you for taking the time to come here. We would like to thank our principal for allowing us to put this program on. Thank you to all the staff members, committee who helped put this together, to all of the students who participated and did such an awesome job. Big hand claps to you. We're going to have veterans just a little extra token of appreciation. We have our escorts who are going to escort our veterans to the location. As our veterans get ready to depart the stage, would you please stand just to honor them one more time for YMLA? So really quickly, we're gonna allow our guests to get settled in first, and then Mr. Mills will come up with further instructions for the dismissal for our students. Thank you very much. So just if you would just hold on one brief second.
Please remain in the cafeteria. Please remain standing in the cafeteria.
Excuse me.
All right, you guys may be seated. All right, hold us up. Hey, you guys have done a fantastic job. Let's not mess that up right now, okay? So here's what's going to happen. You guys have done a very fantastic job. I'm proud of the way you've behaved. Okay, listen, you have flags. Okay, those were a gift for you. Please make sure you conduct yourself appropriately with those. Okay, I shouldn't have to remind you that. You guys are fantastic already. I'm very proud of the way you just conducted yourself. What's going to happen is, make sure you're listening. You're going to go with your teacher back to your classroom. There will be some veterans that will be coming and stopping in and out of each class to talk to you guys and let you answer some, or ask some questions. You've got some questions for them, okay? But you guys continue to represent, guys. You guys continue to represent YM in a very fantastic manner, very honorable manner, very respectful, a lot of dignity. I'm proud of you guys for that. So at this time, if you're in the back, Ms. Junker, if your table, you go ahead and leave the cafeteria. We're going to go one table right off the other, only on the left side. If you're on the right side, stay seated. Stay seated over here. Hey, it doesn't require a lot of talking right now, so your instruction.